Hey everyone, welcome in Betsperts Golf for some more 2026 Genesis Invitational. Final stop on the West Coast swing, back to the Pacific Palisades, back to Riviera Country Club after last year's tragic wildfires in Southern California forced this event back to Torrey Pines South. But we are back to one of the best courses on tour. I touched on this yesterday in the previous show, Andy, with Ron. A lot of the best golf courses in the country don't have the infrastructure to host PGA Tour events. And so we don't always get some of our country's best courses for the tours, for the tour pros. But this is one of those cases that we do. And this is also going to be the host of the Olympic Games in 2028. So stoked to be back at Riviera. What's going on with you, buddy?
Yeah, you mentioned that as when we had the wildfires last year, and the guesses on where we were going to go were, I mean, even people who were guessing stupidly were limited to like 3 or 4 courses, because you can't just be like, oh, let's go to LACC or let's go somewhere. Like, they don't have time to set up. Like, it has to be something with the existing infrastructure. That's why we have so many tour stops at TPC courses. They're kind of set up for crowds and for viewing and for broadcasting. And yeah, it stunk because this is such a great course, but we're back here. And missed Rat Pack says I missed the Trans Am in the opening. Yeah, what was that? Was that Burnsy that won that?
Yeah, the Colonial. The Colonial
gives away an awesome car every year.
Yeah. You get the plaid. It's not plaid. What do they call it? Tartan. Yeah, tartan jacket and a unique
the cannon firing. Like they're all about it out there. Not a lot of, I don't know, what's the tradition at Genesis? The tradition at Genesis is for the best players in the world to never win it.
It's true.
Scotty, Rory, Tiger combined wins here. Anybody over under 0.5?
So funny. Ask me on Monday. It's so funny that this is like Tiger's event.
It is his event, yes.
And he never won here. Which is just funny. And he has bad experience leaving this place in a Genesis. So which is also part of the struggle. So sorry, it's low-hanging fruit, but
I mean that happened. That was
the
car crash. It was a Genesis.
Yeah. So he was here first on the way. Tough.
And since it is a hosted event, so of the signature events, the 8 we have, 3 are hosted. You have Tiger hosts the Genesis, you got Nicholas, and you got Arnie. And I mean, it's just the 3 hosted events like that. Those have cuts. That's the only good way to remember it.
Yeah,
they're still small fields, but they have cut lines. Rather, the other 5 are just all 80 guys or whatever are there for the weekend, which makes for some weird results sometimes. Or in the case of, oh God, I was just wishing I'd bet more on Scotty on Thursday morning, because I'm like, he can win. I actually, Sunday morning, I don't want to talk too much about last week because that's like my least favorite part about podcasts I listen to. But I had some things come up Sunday morning into Sunday afternoon where I missed the first part of the tournament. And I pulled up a leaderboard and Scotty was tied for the lead. I'm like, oh, here we go. Because I'd played some live bets into him just to top 10, top 20. And he was 7 under through 7. Like, Jesus, why didn't I play him to win the damn tournament? And obviously that would have been a loser in the long run. But if he had 3 more holes, cheaper's cat. So there will be a cut line. You can't go out there and absolutely bottle it away this week. You do need to, find your way.
Yeah, it is the top 15 ties, and then every player within 10 strokes of the 36-hole leader. So you can get someone that runs away a little bit. That can change the dynamic of the cut line. You can also have a scenario where everyone's bunched and literally everyone makes the cut. So there is a cut to be made, which is obviously different than last week. But yeah, it is one of the cuts. API coming up in a couple of weeks, and then obviously in June when we go to Memorial. Yeah, it was like simulator. I was golfing with mutual friend Connor Allen, hitting some balls into a screen, and didn't even think I had a sweat. And he's like, you had Scotty, right? I'm like, yeah, tough week. It just didn't get off the bus on Thursday. And he's like, well, he's 6 under through 8. And like, oh, so I'm driving home from the city with like the, just the audio of, I have YouTube TV on my phone and like just trying to like we actually have a sweat here? Like this is actually happening. And, you know, got home in time to watch the end of it. But yeah, wild scenario, and, you know, could take that off the table this week if he continues to, for some reason, not figure out Thursday. So yeah,
it's funny too. Like not a ton of similarities course to course, but
no,
the biggest thing and what, you know, his biggest part of his Sunday comeback there was he played the 4-5 par fives at 7 under combined, which is, first of all, obscene. But second of all, that's going to be a big part of this week. You know, you can do course fit that. You can talk about the weather and how it's going to impact some of the distance here. But it is, again, another place where it's not so much the hard holes that separates people here. It is the easy holes. And you have to, you know, you have to be a good par 5 player again this week to make sure you're getting some scoring done when you can get your scoring done and make your way up the leaderboard. And we've seen that. Like it is a little predictive with course history, guys who've played here before. It is predictive with some of the guys who can hit it long because of how this course sets up. But you really do got to score on the 5s. And it just made me think of last week. Like, what if he comes, you know, what if he's just kind of figured out his strategy on 5s? Just as, you know, I'll just play even par on the other. What does that come out to? You have to subtract 12 of the other 60 holes.
Yeah, just hold on.
You know, you play even par on the other 60 holes and just go 15 under on the par 5s for the week.
Yeah, it's a par 71, so we get one fewer of the par 5s, and the par 4s are harder. So it is a spot where, like, yes, you can't miss opportunities on the 5s, but you also on the 4s really have to hold on. Bogey avoidance, I think, is been a little bit predictive here too. So you really can't make a mess of those. You really have to find a way to make sure that you were taking the big numbers off the scorecard, because it is a place where, you know, with barrancas and angles and, you know, it's a unique ball striking test where it's very difficult to gain off the tee, and the greens and reg rate here is significantly below tour average, 56.4% over the last couple of years, which is, you know, sizable. I think we're like 68, 69% on tour average events. So not a lot of similarities to last week, you know, in terms of like proximity ranges. We can get into all that stuff as well. You know, a lot of wedges last week, a lot of longer, you know, 150 to 200 plus the longer par 3s where you're looking at a bunch of 200 plus type shots here. So different track. There are some corollary courses that I think are interesting too, because there are some similarities with in terms of the agronomy here. We have these, you know, California POA greens, and we have Kikuyu grass fairways and rough, and we don't have a lot of courses like that on tour that have this mix of agronomy. It's really common, obviously, in Southern California. It's also really common in Australia, and we've had some of those things kind of spill over historically, and we also see it at Torrey, which is where we were last year. So even though, you know, I would say you toss out Torrey in a sense from last year, if you're looking at anything Genesis, or, you know, it's last year's event was Torrey South, but again, you do have some of the agronomy stuff that's a little bit sticky that helps. So yeah, tough decisions to be made here at the board. What do you want to look at? Anything you want to highlight?
No, I'm a little further along in research and betting than I normally am in this time of week. And I think it just bears to look at the top of the board and say, like, you know, you can't build a model that's course fit or history or, you know, any sort of form and not just have Scotty at the top. But the price again this week is, you know, 3-1. Rory, very similar to last week. He was 15 to 16. He's about 14-1.
Couldn't keep the big numbers off the card. He played really well.
He played really well outside of, you know, he got a little squirrely. The ball striking was really good, except when it wasn't. And it was like, oh no, this is
it's the blow up holes.
He had a couple blow up holes. And then of course, Xander right behind him. I'm kind of at a spot where, you know, you've been playing with fire with Scotty here. He's the favorite for a reason. The price is probably too short or right on. I don't think there's any value in betting it, but I have looked at like a really small price on like top 5, top 10. And because I think those numbers still offer some value. I just don't know how he plays here, plays himself out of that sort of position here. And again, I don't know that I'm excited to go to Rory again. He kind of had, like you said, he had the yips a little with the ball striking. The approach weakness was rearing its head a little bit here and there. It is going to play long with the wet weather we're having, so I think his off the tee prowess is going to be advantageous. Sure. Obviously, it's going to overcome a lot of other things. But if his ball striking in general is hit and miss, there's some blow ups holes here as well, which leads you kind of in that next range. And we haven't talked a lot of Xander this year.
Yeah.
And he's just well-rounded. Everything if you model this one out, and we all have, built our expert models on the site for this week, there's no way he's going to be, too far down on anything. He's a good course fit. He's a good par 5 player. He's top 5 or top 15, top 20. If you look at the proximity buckets that matter here, he has a super high floor, I think, too. Just kind of no one's gotten excited about Xander so far this year. And I'd wonder if you looked at him at all at that price.
I wanted to look at him. Funny, we talked about this a little bit on yesterday's show. And it's not something I lean heavily on. It's almost like I want some confirmation bias. So I'm going to use our live leaderboard. And this is a great tool. We're getting, loving it. We're getting really good feedback. People, again, if you're like micro betting, live betting, hole by hole, anything, using this for, in tournament matchups, round by round matchups to get a sense, because there's so many different live metrics. And again, watch this live tool while you're watching golf. And this is, we're instantaneously updating. So there's very, 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 very little lag in this data. Something I like to do, and more than anything, like I said, confirmation bias, is I want to see sometimes, like, if you're a little bit out of it, not necessarily out of it, but you know what I mean? Just kind of going through, like, can you find something on Sunday that can carry over? When you're just like, hey, all of a sudden, like, yeah, he didn't play well. It was kind of off the radar. We didn't even really realize what was going on here. But, like, so-and-so was ball striking the hell out of it on Sunday. Maybe found something, maybe carries it over. And I was looking, and then there was Xander. There was just, the weekend wasn't great. Yeah, this is round 4. And again, it's a different test. I don't want to overrate this, but I wanted to bet Xander. And when I went into this on Sunday night, I was like, why are we bleeding on approach? And then I think,
not only that too, but around the green matters here again this week, where it's going to be hard to find all these greens. You're going to have to scramble at times, and the guys who aren't gaining consistently around the green are going to struggle again.
Yes, this is what it was. Both weekend rounds, he lost over a stroke on approach, which kind of gave me I feel way better if these were like bright green and you just didn't putt well for some reason. And he was just okay on approach here basically throughout the week. It was okay there in the first round.
Quick tournament. How was his entire tournament? Again, lost on approach, lost around the green. Kind of got to be trending better than that if you want to bet somebody at like 17, 18 to 1 to win a tournament. That also includes Scotty, Rory, a newfound Morikawa, who suddenly found it again. Although I don't know if I love Morikawa to score on these par 5s again. I don't know if he can keep that up. I'm not going long shots here, but I have sort of avoided those top 3 names.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. I was like, man, Xander would make some sense. The number maybe drifts a little bit because, like you said, he feels somewhat relative to where he is in the board, out of sight, out of mind. We haven't really had him in the mix even at any point so far this year. So I was thinking that would be a nice spot for him. And I think the course history is decent. And it is a spot where, course history has mattered a little bit. T4 last time we were here, he's got familiarity, right? These are competitive rounds. And it's been a spot, like Ron highlighted too in his article, where you wouldn't want to cross guys out that haven't been here or played well in the past, but it has been a little bit of a leading indicator of some experiences, some sticky course history. But again, this is 2024, which ended up being kind of a kick-ass year for him. So yeah, it's tricky.
What's some thoughts from Sambino? He's got questions on Finau and Hoagie top 30 prices. Those are decent prices for a small field for guys who Hoagie's obviously a decent course fit here. Finau's playing better golf somehow. I mean, that was one of my first bets, was against him at the Sony to like shoot over 67.5 or whatever it was, and goes out and shoots like 4 over. But I like that Hoagie price.
The big tone stuff is interesting too. And again, it depends on what you want to give to historic course history compared to maybe recent form. Because if you were to look at like total strokes gained here over the last 4 stops, tee to green, Big Tone's 4th. So again, and this is, so this is Riviera only, stroke gain tee to green. Scotty again, hasn't won here, but still tee to green. This is the last time he had a blade putter, by the way. This was the last event. And then the next time we saw him was Mallet at API. Cantley, UCLA kid, California kid, immaculate course history for someone who's never won here. There's Colin again, and then Finau. So Hovland also has some solid course history. Again, bleeds around the green here. Or at least I think these are just a couple events. He's had some decent rounds, but this is a big number. Say the same for Cam Young, who has struggled around the greens here as well. But yeah, Big Tone makes a lot of sense. There's a couple of strong finishes here too. If you look at Hoagie, 8th here in 24, T14 in 23. And obviously
he's been here enough,
yeah, for sure.
He's been here.
Yeah. Don't hate those. So yeah, Hoagie's tricky because there is like these finishes, but he's such a Pebble Beach guy. I feel like, but I don't know. He's played really well at Sawgrass too. It's not another course that's difficult, strong fields. That's not necessarily short. So it's not like he's limited to just shorter golf courses. He's when he's dialed in, that approach game can kick some butt. So yeah. I can't do this. Now, I think you probably will be better equipped to do this. Can you make the case why Scotty wouldn't win this? The case is simply it's 72 guys and he's one of, so just that's where it stops. The rest of it is super challenging for me because I feel like we saw him boat race the field in a way at the Amex. And then we saw him, and he said, I heard him talk about it this week. He felt like he didn't have it the first round at Scottsdale, and then figured it out. Felt great. He was really frustrated on Thursday last week at Pebble because he felt like he came in a really good spot and just didn't score with as well as he felt like he played. So he didn't feel like he was searching for it on Thursday. He felt like he had it and it just didn't kind of come together score-wise. So, the price is so short. So like if we separate the price, why he can't win, I can't do that. You obviously can make a case-based decision on how you approach outright betting and go, hey, I can't entertain anything south of 5-1, 10-1. I understand that's just how people approach outright golf betting, and I get it. It's expensive.
3-1 implies he wins a quarter of the times. If he played it 1,000 times, he wins about 250 of them, which, like I said, it's probably fair. It's probably fair that he wins 25% of the time. But the fact that you see this all the time where a guy plays, and these people get forgotten. They don't get forgotten because they're good golfers, but their efforts at that tournament get forgotten. Where a guy goes out, maybe he wins on tour last year, maybe he wins on tour the year after, but somebody goes out and puts the best 4 rounds of their year out there, and they go get 3rd place, just because sometimes that's how golf works. Or the guy in front of him, a couple more lucky bounces, and sandy in the hole, a couple from the fairway that really crush, and you go look at their around the green play, and it was just, hey, you spike some weird shit and hold out from a few spots, and you made everything on the greens. And guess what? The guy in 2nd or 3rd place, that was the best he could play all year, and he did not win the tournament because there's too many other people in the field, and somebody else is going to spike as well. And that's the main case. Is like Scotty's average, his average finish here is probably in the top 10. Like if you played again, and you played those 1,000 times, like he finishes in the top 10. What's that price got to be? Like minus 150. I think it's that expensive. Big. Like yeah, it's going to be expensive. So it's tough to bet against him. I think you just got to find some value, and then if he struggles again, let's bet him on Thursday night, Friday morning again. Let's just keep doing that. And you wonder about that as far as like the frustration he's shown, because you've seen him get a little more frustrated. It's been noticeable. It's manifested physically, and you've seen it in the body language. And golf, anyone who's ever played golf knows, like if you start getting in your own head, like you might as well just head back to the clubhouse and have some soda pops, man. Because the rest of the round isn't going to go good. And I know these guys have, they have coaches for that, and they have mental. Oh God, what was the lady that helped Wyndham figure his shit out? Stuff like that. But it's still the golf. A lot of golf is played in the 6 inches between your ears, so it's hard to make a case against him. I'm just going to be making some cases for some other guys that I think can really spike here, and we're kind of getting to them as far as where we are in the price range.
Yeah, so the visibly frustrated thing I think is fair. I think part of it too is like he's just so used to seeing himself execute what he's trying to do. So when I think he feels like he did what he wanted to do, started on the right line, shot shaped it the right way, and it doesn't get the results he wanted, he's such a perfectionist that I think he's like, what the hell just happened? Versus like that chip that ran back to his feet in Scottsdale, he's like, well, that was just a bad chip. I didn't do what I wanted. That was a different level of frustration versus some of the stuff we even saw on Sunday where he shoots a 63 with 3 bogeys, pin hunting, which is like insane. But he's just like, man, I thought I hit that well again. A couple of those bogeys in the back 9 where he just like, it took a bounce that hadn't been bouncing like that on any other hole. And all of a sudden he lost it and he kicks into the bunker. I think the bar he set for himself and execution rate is just so insane. So he's tricky. I've had a really hard time, especially partially because I committed single bullet last week, right? So I think if I didn't go single bullet last week, it'd be so much easier for me to make a decision. Just like, well, yeah, I'm going to skip it again. I'm going to bet a bunch. But I feel like I've been trying to really make the decision on what to do because I feel pot committed to Martingale in a sense of making sure that I'm not in a spot where like I get off of him this week and then he does what I thought he was going to do and just puts it all together. So it's been a mine for me a little bit.
And if he's going to be 3-1 every week, you don't have to martingale in the traditional sense of doubling.
Of course, I'm not doubling my bet.
Increase your bet by 30% until he wins. It almost feels like don't do this. Please don't actually do this. But it almost feels like, how are you going to lose? Like, is he going to seriously go the next 8 weeks and not win an event? That would be be wild considering his success rate over the course of his career, especially over the last 4 years. Real quick before I get to some of my guys, Pterodactyl, A-Bear, it's tough looking at that number, realizing how good he was when he won even that swing season event, when you saw him, in international events, when you've seen him play at his best. And then what kind of course fit he brings to this place. It's very hard to leave him off the card. He was atrocious. And then he mini Scotty'd it, where he was way, 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 way worse than Scotty, obviously, in the first round last week. But he brought himself back, and he played a lot better golf over the course of the weekend. And I think that being a not cut event was really good for him, probably mentally a little bit as well, where he needed to see, hey, I can go out there and play some good golf for a couple rounds, where if that was a cut event, I'm not so sure he gets those weekend rounds. I'd have to look at where he finished in round 2, but I mean, his round 1 was so bad. And I need to see it before I can bet him. I don't think even at the price, and maybe it's a case where 40-1, that's a big number. It'd be nice. If he goes out there and plays really well, maybe I'm fine betting him 20-1 live after round 1 and saying, like, this guy's got it in the bag this week. He looks like he's fixed. He's perfect for this course. I'm willing to bet him at a way worse price.
Yeah, the prices. I even saw. I don't have money currently.
He's 50. He's 50 at bookmaker.
I was gonna say, so Score had a 50, and I saw last time, like, I don't have money in Score account currently. But 50 is I can figure that out pretty quickly for a 50. But I'm like, man, it's been rough. I mean, the Farmers, again, great fit. We talked about it. It's just like he's almost custom built for that type of venue, and it was just rough. It's rough. So the numbers big, but I feel like that's where it makes sense if you're not swimming at the very top. Like, you should try and pick off bad numbers like that. Everyone should follow Pterodactyl, by the way, on Twitter. Really smart, golf account who's literally grinding all tours all the time. So if you're looking to just have, live sweats for LPGA or DP World Tour, that guy is grinding everything in the world of golf. So definitely check him out. Yeah, I mean, it's tough scene for Ludwig here. It's just it's not great. And I love the guy, but this is 50 is a different story though. This is Farmers is rough.
It's such a big number for a guy whose ceiling is like, hey, you're a top 5 player in the world right now.
Yeah,
like that's just ceiling is contending with the big guns. So it's something that's rattled around my brain, but I have enough guys I like this week that I've kind of left it be. Which if you want to get back to some odds, kind of your next chunk of guys there's a few that obviously I fell in love with, and it's another one where, hey, he won this. Can he really win it again? But Jesus, I don't know how you model this place and not like what Matsuyama's bringing. Like everything about fit. Obviously, he has course history, course success. He won here in 2024.
Bring up your model.
His approach, his around the green, his scrambling from the rough. He went, I think he was 9 under on the par 5s in 2024. Just all the metrics I want. He's elite. He's a proven winner here. He's a former major winner. Like this, he should be priced ahead of Xander. I don't understand why he's like 23 and Xander's 18 when it should probably be flip-flopped. He should be like 15, truthfully. So Hideki is a bet for me. I found him at 23-1 at, I believe, Bookmaker. Most of the other places 20, 22. But even that, I think 22 is bettable. So Henley. Boy, I gave that away. Henley's also on the card.
Oh, okay. Does this scare you at all? He cannot find the fairway for his life. He's just been all over the fact that he even got himself to a playoff in Scottsdale with the fact that he couldn't find a fairway was wild. I mean,
yeah, that was a little squirrely there, but at the same time,
he's a solid
the overall ball striking is just kind of making up for it. And I think it's one of those things where that's not been his MO through his career, is like, I'm a bad off the tee player. So I think it's more of a blip. And the fact that he's finishing in the top 15 the whole season so far with a little bit of an issue coming off the tee, he's a tinkerer too. And
sure.
If you've ever been to an event or you've seen him warm up, he's the guy who brings 17 3-woods to the driving range and tries them, and he messes with clubs all the time.
Even marks the face of some of them sometimes.
Yeah, didn't he get in trouble for marking that? He actually brought one with the marked one. He got a penalty for that, or DQ'd.
He got DQ'd. Yeah,
I think he got kicked out. So he does mess around with his, especially with his wood. So maybe that's something he's playing with. But yeah, 23-1, that's a bet for me.
I get it. He's just the one guy that when he gets hot and blacks out, there's almost no one in the world that beats that version of Hideki when it happens. That's what happened last time we were here. If you forget, let me pull up
his Sunday was sick.
Oh my gosh. He gained like 9 strokes. Genesis Invitational 2014 Sunday, 8.47 strokes. He gained 6 tee to green. Again, couldn't.
It wasn't just like a putting contest.
No,
and he still did gain a lot on the green. Yeah,
as someone who had Zalatoris, that was kind of Zalatoris, Xander, and then Decky made a charge and took that one. So yeah, I mean, just an insane, almost 9 strokes gained in a round, which is just bonkers. So yeah, I get it. I get the Hideki thing for sure. You said Russ as well.
Yeah, Henley kind of in that same range as well. I believe his best. Well, I mean, he's longer. You're going to be able to find a 35 on Russ if you hunt around. 40 at Bet Online right now. So Russ at 40 is another one where it's like, I can't believe I'm getting this price, and I understand all the best golfers in the world, except for the Patrick Reeds of the world, are here. No Reed, no Bryce, no Anthony Kim. We'll make it. Joking aside, good.
Did you watch it?
No, God, it was like at 2 a.m.
No, it was not. We're more in the Midwest. It was not. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I watched it. I picked it up at like I don't know, right around the
my
11th
sleep
or so.
schedule's been effed enough trying to catch some Olympics. So
Yeah, it was fun.
I did not catch any of that, but regardless, back to the main point. A lot of great golfers here. He still models in the top 5, top 10 of so many things that matter here. Approach, greens and regulation, putting, scrambling, just solid across the board on par 5 scoring. Like I'm trying to, he's like, again, with Decky, you pulled a weakness. What's our Russell Henley weakness? What are we picking on here? It's just not a weakness. He's another one he's had a bunch of solid finishes going back to last year, and he's 40-1 at BetOnline.
It's way off market.
It's absurd. There's 30s at some places. Again, I'm shopping at 3 books right now that I have up. It's 30, 34, and 40. So kind of all over the place, but even at 35-1, that I don't understand the price for him as good as he is.
Domestics,
he's going to win an event this year.
Yeah, domestics, I see a 30 on FanDuel. Everywhere else is short of 30. So 30 is the best that I see on my screen right now. So, getting something close to 40 or getting a 40 is very, very, very much off. You know me, and there's no shot I'm making a case against Russell Henley. He's fantastic. He doesn't have, Josh says his intestinal fortitude. I guess he doesn't have the dog in him. I mean, I guess maybe fair. He did it last year at Bay Hill. Sam Burns sure as shit doesn't. Never clicking that name again. Not for a while. He's going to win one before I click Sam Burns. I understand that the wind was whipping on 18. But you need an eagle to tie, and you take a 6 iron and push it into the rough. Like, sorry, buddy. I know it's a nice big check to cash in his top 5, but like, man, come on.
He's got it's not like he's a rookie on tour and he needs the money so bad. He's probably decently well off at this point.
He is.
Like, go for the win. If you lose a couple $100,000 because you bottle that hole, it's a signature event. Go for the win.
Go for it.
That drove me up. That drove me up a wall. Yeah, Henley's maybe that dog in him. Maybe that is his weakness. You want to
literally is a dog. He's a bulldog. He went to Georgia. Come on.
There's a couple weaknesses on the next guy that I almost bet. I will be almost betting every time he's in the field. You want to guess?
I do.
Oh no, this guy's a bet. Nap is a bet at price. We'll jump to him because I only have 3 bets right now.
Okay.
You guessed the third one, or you thought I'd add. And yeah, there's some weaknesses here. Obviously, he's a little longer price than some of the other guys. I think the best Nap price I found was 45 again at BetOnline. Maybe he's roughly the same at Bookmaker, 46.61 right now. So 45-1 golfer. He's one that just the approach kind of looks like shit at times, but then he plays the whole event and it's like it's not that bad. No, he's making a few shots. He's throwing a few darts.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, you look and he actually gained on approach. If I watched the first couple rounds of some of these tournaments, like, no way he's gaining on approach in this event. And it was kind of a concern for me. It's something I've argued against using him in one and done with Cal a couple times. It's like, he has these bad approach rounds, and obviously at Pebble Beach. And granted, that was a little bit of win there. That was a unique event with the weather. Not that the weather can't bite you here in LA as well, but he's the guy where it's like, where's the weakness here? And I guess I don't know. Like he can bomb it. He's an elite par 5 scorer.
Yes.
He's pretty. I think I had him pretty high in putting, especially on POA. Some of that is smallish sample. He doesn't have a huge historical sample, I guess. The knock against him is that he hasn't played Genesis 5-6 times like everybody else.
Correct.
We're going to talk about. But the course fit, the par 5 dominance, like everything about this. And I think I'm probably going to have to add some top 10 with him, or I don't have the ability to do each ways. But Henley and Matsuyama will just be straight up bets. Nap is probably going to get a top 5, top 20, a top 10, top 20 kind of bet ladder as well. Just because I do worry about a little bit of a blow up approach around here that keeps him from winning it, even if I love his course fit that much. So he's on the card. The one I was going to mention that I almost bet, Mr. Kim of the Siwoo nature.
Love it.
Like when is he going to stop playing really good golf? Never, apparently.
He's not, but I
I
like this. I wanted the price to be longer, but I like it. I like the play.
And that was the thing. I can't quite get there on the price. So he's not on the card at the moment. He is like first guy off. Might still bet him. But the price needs to be a little longer. He's playing really, really good golf. So it makes it hard, but he's kind of in that 35 range. I want him to be a little longer. And I mean, just elite ball striking, really good approach, proximity from the ranges that matter are pretty high for him.
Have you looked at any of the stuff that's on the back end? So we have some stuff that's coming out stat wise. We're double checking the math, getting it all correct. Some par 3, par 4, par 5 efficiency stuff, some scoring range stuff. There's some stuff here for Siwoo that's very, very, very positive on scoring chances on long golf courses. 150 to 200 plus. That bode very well for his chances. So I like to see when you close on Sunday, when you're in the heat against the big guys. Kind of saw that fade a little bit at Harbortown last year. Strong field when he was in the lead and kind of just couldn't piece it all together. Had a solid chance on Sunday at the Amex. Scotty chased him down. So that's the thing for me is I want Siwoo to close it against these tougher fields. Top 10, top 20, I think is a very interesting play. So, but yeah, he's playing fantastic.
That might be where I'm at. So the POA putting is not great over a big sample. That's going to kind of push him down. The par 5 scoring, he's a middle of the pack guy. It's been getting better. Obviously, he's playing really good. Really good golf right now, and the approach and the ball striking is just so high right now. So he's close. And then the other kind of close ones as well. Tommy Fleetwood, good pedigree. I mean, he just the price is untenable for that. Same thing with Cantlay. Like Cantlay, where he's priced, I just can't get there with him. His par 5 scoring isn't great. And then there are some long shots I looked at, but like I said, it's hard to bet him. Spawn is a good fit. He's a big price if you want to go that way. Really good. Obviously, a great approach guy. He, of course, fits good, and he's a big number. Same thing with Sepp. I know that, and especially that you saw his Sunday. He's a top 10 off the tee guy or solid ball striker that's going to be 50, 60 to 1. I know some people like Harris English. He's another big price.
Love Harris English.
Yeah.
I want him to be bigger.
Yeah. It's not quite big enough because good at everything that matters here. Not great. Really good putter though, obviously. And, good on POA. So he's if you want some long shots or some, hey, here's some longer prices and some top 10, top 20. Those are some guys I definitely like.
Yeah.
Have you seen anybody make a case for Patrick Rogers?
I have not. I see him in the top 10 of your model. He's a California kid. But I've not seen anyone make a case for Patrick
Where
Rogers.
did he finish at Riviera last time we played?
Let's see. Go down here. Lots of different ways to Patrick Rogers 2024. Let me make sure I get the right leaderboard. Third looks good.
He was third here. I know this surprised me as well. Yeah. He's the one long shot I might actually bet and do like some top 10 on, but yeah, really good finish here. He's the course history stuff was good. The scrambling was like top 20. The proximity from the 150 to 200 was good.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a huge price too. So if you do want one long shot, Rogers is kind of somebody I'm looking at.
It's a tough long shot week.
160 to 1 at Bookmaker. If I don't put a 20 on that, I'm going to feel bad now that I've knocked him out. So maybe one fun long shot.
Yeah, he's hey, California top 3. Here, one of the things that I was looking at this week that I do think we don't want to just like overfit something, but I do think there's some pretty solid corollaries with like the courses. There's some really solid like guys who've won at Augusta, guys who've won at Torrey or played well, and in Riv. So this is simply right here. Strokes gained total is looking at the last 5 years at Augusta, at Torrey, and here at Riviera. Yeah. And this is kind of another reason where this is good confirmation for you. This, Hideki right here, fourth. Here's Harris English. So Harris English has a bunch of like top 12s at Augusta. There's never really been like Sunday mix at Augusta, but but good finishes here. He won at Torrey South. He's got a bunch of good solid Torrey South finishes. He just doesn't make bogeys. That's part of it too. So bogey avoidance, I think, on the par fours is really important this week. I think he's top 3 in bogey avoidance in the model and how I weighed it out. So that is really nice for HE. I wanted him to be like 50, 55, and he's like 40 and popular. So it's like, shoot, what happened there? The Homa thing is fascinating because he's not playing that bad. But
it's been better.
It's been better. It's the place he obviously loves and has played very well. Also won at Torrey. Also very much in the mix multiple times at Augusta now. So that lends itself to this data. This is your case for Ludwig as well. Hovland's another one that's fascinating because we got to remember Hovland won last year in Florida off of no form. Talking about like pre-tournament in the presser, my game's lost. I have no idea. So I never know what to make of Hovland form-wise. It just seems like he's going to show up and play very well randomly. But you're talking about a spot with like long irons. I mean, this is Hovland. If he's driving it well, this is a great setup for him. Again, and his price is long. So when you're telling me Jake Knapp, who's never been here before, is the same price as Victor Hovland, who's T5 his last 2 times here, who wins out of nowhere and can, beat anybody, that's really hard for me to kind of make sense of his price relative to some of the other guys in the field. So he's a hard one for me. So I'm with you on the Fleetwood stuff too.
He got an umbrella stuck in a tree. Like he's just a knob this week.
Mav's another one. I like Mav.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to hate Mav anytime you're on the West Coast. It's just where he plays well and his stuff matches up well. Who'd you bet though?
I haven't bet anybody yet.
You haven't bet anybody yet. Have you looked at one and done it all? I think this is another spot where, hey, do you want to use Scotty Scheffler? Do you believe he's finally got it together on Thursday? It's another huge pot. This is the same amount of money you'd win if you win the Masters, if you win the U.S. Open. It's still a $3.6 million pot purse to the winner. It is a cut event, so if you get squirrely, you can end up in the zero, unlike last week. So I'm obviously looking at him. I'm looking at Rory. If he sorts, they both have like one thing. If they sort it out, they win by 3. And obviously if they both sort it out, then we have a really fun duel at the end, which would be awesome as well. Not great for my bets, but I've looked at him. Obviously, I like Matsuyama quite a bit. I bet him. He's a guy I'm looking at. I think if you have Henley available still, that's not the worst thing. It is a don't go too far down the board again, though, week. It's you pick somebody you think they can win this thing.
I think I would go on the screen. Maybe I would do this. So Scotty's there too. Maybe this is the kind of the pool I would pick from a one and done standpoint is who's currently on the screen. I think Cantley's like probably even pretty good chalk. I don't need Cantley anywhere else. I know that I'm playing
chalk last week.
Rose. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, Rose was.
Everybody was in love with it. I know, but I just didn't. I wasn't seeing it as far as like
I wasn't either.
So many people want to use him. I think there's better spots.
He just almost never models well. He's like, I would say Hovland models better sometimes when you do some course fit stuff, but like Rosie stuff is sometimes so inconsistent. But like he just pops and wins sometimes. So, yeah, one and done Cantley I think makes a ton of sense. Here's where I'm at. I think I'm going to bet Scotty again, Andy. I think trying to thread the needle live is thin. No, threading the needle live, if he like struggles and it cooks out to double digits, that's not difficult to thread. That's just like, okay, let's get back in. But in trying to play the game of he doesn't have another good first round, someone else plays well, and all of a sudden he's 5-1, 6-1 on Friday morning, Thursday night. It's possible, but there's also the chance that like he's just kind of in the mix. And then if he's in the mix, all of a sudden the 3-1s are gone and he's, plus 175 on Thursday night. And you're like, shit, he's 2 shots back. Cause that's what's going to happen. Even when he gets like, he's been way back. He's not been properly on the board compared to where other people typically are when he's literally been 10 shots behind the leader the last 2 weeks in the first round. So is he going to do that again? I don't think so. And the books don't even really respond well when that happens. So my thought arrogantly is that because it is a sticky course history, small field event, I can make up for the Scotty ticket in finishing position bets. And in my mind, basically free roll Scotty. Just completely arrogant and cocky to say and not real and based on nothing. But I do think
I thought about that strategy because the more I look at it, it's like, Jesus, who's a good course fit here? Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah. And again, I know he's not hitting a shot. Okay. I know he's not hitting a shot. But Ted Scott won 3 times here with Bubba Watson. It's not nothing. He's familiar with the course. And we're talking about a course that course history, familiarity, experience, being able to manage your golf ball around positionally. Those all things are just yell Scotty Scheffler to me, right? Like manage the course, eliminate doubles, put yourself in position on the par 5s, just, don't have the blow up holes. No one really does that better. That's why he's separated. He just doesn't make massive mistakes consistently. So while Ted Scott's not playing and Bubba's game is very different, Ted Scott having 3 wins here in the last 12 years, I think helps a little bit, right? It worked at Augusta too, right? Like Ted Scott knows where to miss, where to be, knows the pins, knows, these shots and who can execute that specifically when he's like, hey, here's where you need to be. More than anyone, Scotty knows how to execute that. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I think the Hovlands, McNeelys, Fleetwoods, Harris English, like finishing position bets can cover. So yeah, even though the record here is not been great finishing position wise, his actual, like I showed it, put it on the screen earlier. He has more strokes gained tee to green than anyone here in the last 4 times they've come here. So, and this is his first time showing up with a mallet. So I think I'm betting Scotty. I'll piece it together with boosts at a few different books, spread it out.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
It's what I did last week. I just tried to get, I had a boost that got me like $50 at 4-1, another 30% that got me like to 360. And then I put a big chunk on at like 320 and like, it just kind of pieced it together. It had like a net 355. And I think I could do that again this week. So it's kind of where I'm at. And then the good news, he's not at the Cognizant next week, Andy, and I don't have to make this decision.
Yeah. You know who else has a win here in the bag? Shota Heiafuji.
Oh, okay. He does. Hideki. I think the Hideki plays makes a ton of sense.
Hideki's.
Yeah.
Famously, of the photo where he bowed to the course.
Elite.
Back in 2021 at Augusta. Gonna play some DFS. Haven't sorted out that player pool yet, but if we're gonna close on, is there anybody you're just like scared of here?
No, but I do have I'm not gonna bet him as a bomb, but another situation where I was digging into some of the data on the staging site. Bud Cauley. I could be surprised to hear me mention Bud Cauley.
Yeah.
Bud Cauley has some really strong long iron stuff, scoring chance wise. That was pretty interesting. And again, DFS specifically want birdies. Some of the stuff on Bud Cauley was interesting. So he's gonna be in the player pool for sure. He's gonna be, I don't even know what his price is. He's gonna be really, really cheap. Because no one's talking about Bud Cauley this week, but 6,200, lovely punt on DraftKings for Bud Cauley, in my opinion. So like that one quite a bit.
I think I am using Scotty in DFS, by the way. Like, yeah, it's like what, 14,000? Don't care. I can
the other one.
I can still fill a lineup with some guys from the 6,000s that I like.
Yeah, I don't play enough like
Rico Hoey's like 6,600. He fits in there, right?
You got to do Rico.
Rogers is under 7,000. Pearson Cootie is a nice one. He's another one he can really score on the fives and keep pace that way. He's a guy that I'd probably use at I think he's 7,300. Harris English is under 8,000.
Yeah, he's gonna be popular.
There's plenty. Yeah, he's gonna be popular. Yeah, you kind of got it's a smaller field, which makes it tougher for lineup construction, but there's some guys that definitely you can fill in with the Scotty lineup.
I like Foxy too.
Scotty Patrick Rogers build. That evens out. It's right at 10,000.
You get two of the guys in the top 5. Why would you not start that way?
Yeah, pretty easy.
I like Foxy too. Again, the agronomy Australia, New Zealand thing I think is important. He's so volatile, right? Like he could be one of those guys that misses the cut here, but he also can hit it a mile and can make birdies and bunches. And he is one of the most streaky players on tour. You basically see he strings together missed cuts, and then here's last summer we had a win, a couple top 30s, another win, more top 20s. Played okay at times last week. It feels like I want to catch Foxy on the way up, and he's another interesting DFS play. Not going to find the betting card whatsoever, but
no, same thing. And a guy I'm probably fading too that I've liked early is Gerard. People are going to like him because it's 7,000, and I just don't know that he has the skills to score here. I think he can definitely tread water, and you end up, he makes the weekend. It's hard to see him really flaming out, but I don't think he scores well here.
Yeah. It's good to get some
when I have my course, actually straight up course fit stuff, and especially when it brings in a lot of the par 5 stuff, he's not scoring out well. So I don't know. And especially too, when you're trying to fill in with some of these cheaper guys, I think maybe the number one thing, and that's my closer, is course fit's great. But when you're looking at guys in the 6,000s, even the 7,000s, because of a field like this, just find somebody who's played here 3-4 times. Let that be your final. If you're deciding between 2 or 3 guys, who's played here more, who's been here more, who's consistently, showed up and not made a fool of themselves here at Riviera, because course history is so sticky.
Yeah, no, it's a good call. It's definitely a good call. Have you used Hideki? You're gonna cape up for Hideki for one and done?
I think at least in one, I'm gonna use him.
Okay. All right. It's a good
betting him. Got to use him. So,
all right, everyone, make sure you hit that subscribe before you take off. Obviously, you could find this on any podcast form, YouTube, Spotify, but also on the YouTubes as well, Betsperts Golf. So definitely check that out. Wrap us up.
Yeah. Gutter up was one of my one and dones last week. He put his damn ball in a tree to start round 2. That was the end of it. I don't hate him this week, but price isn't super conducive to where I have him, so I won't be betting him this week. But I think he's worth a look in DFS for sure. So, and like Ryan said, please hit the subscribe button. A good portion of the people that watch this are not subscribed. It helps the channel. It helps everything. So real quick, if you could hit that, that would be super beneficial. If you have any questions that we didn't get to, obviously you can leave them in the YouTube chat. I get notifications on that as far as comments underneath the video, or hit us up on Twitter, in the Discord if you're members. We'll catch you guys next week. Good luck this week out at Riv.